Hi, everybody. It's Joy Packard. It has been a very long day again, but I wanted to say a quick hello to you today before the day is over and say hi and see how you guys are doing. And, as I look back at my day, I'm in another group where they tell us to basically review what our wins are for the day. And I've loved this exercise because it has made me it has made me basically look back at my day and go through it from the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep at night and look back and see what the little wins are every single day and exactly what does that mean. And I guess, like, what do you call a win? It doesn't necessarily have to be that you made a sale, with your online business. It doesn't necessarily mean that you had to, do something so huge. It can mean something as little as, making the UPS guy smile when you gave him a bottle of water. And I was going to name that as a win. So, I don't know how you guys start your day, but I usually start my day with my gratitude journal, right? And I write down the things that I want to happen during the day. And so as we're going through our day, it can be something as simple as, spending time with our family, or maybe it's, something that you are wanting to get done, with somebody. Like today, even though, like, I'm so busy trying to work on my event, my daughter is in town, and one of my daughters, I have a lot of daughters. I have four daughters. I had to count. And so, I spent the day with her. We went to go take her to the wellness center and, had a great lunch and everything like that. So here it is, almost 8 o'clock at night, and you look through your day and you say, I wonder, if I was able to have some wins today, because like I told you, I'm in this other group where at the end of the day, they say to list your wins. And so, when you think about, what are my wins? They don't have to be big wins. They can be small little wins, right? It could be that I had a great snack today. It could be that I spent time with my mother today. It could be that we had hey Jacob, how you doing? And so it could be something that had to do with our personal or our business or whatever it is, right? And so I wanted to share that with you because sometimes we feel, as we are going through our day, that if we don't have something miraculous happen or something huge or something big, that it is not a win, right? And so it can tell you, that some of your wins, like I say, may be as much as, I was able to sit and talk to my grandbaby today. One of my grandbabies is visiting today with my daughter in town. And, we have so much busyness during the day, right? We're not only working on our business, but we have busyness, right? To where it takes us away from some of the things that are most important. And so when we are going to fix this microphone. When we are working on our business and when we are trying to not be so busy, then it's those small little things that make up a win, right? And so I love, as it's closing on the day, like about 10 o'clock or so, and I review my day from the time that I wake up until now. What are some of the things that I did? And I've had this UPS guy who's not normally on this route, and he has had to deliver, like, I think today was 16 boxes, yesterday was 40 boxes. It was just it was a big week for him to deliver several boxes to me. And normally, I give him, a bottle. Hey, do you want to have a bottle of water? And, he's like, that little gesture of just, he said, thank you so much. I worked so hard, and it just makes me so happy that you're even offering that. So today was his last day on my route because it's going back to the other guy who's normally our UPS guy. So I gave the UPS guy 2 bottles of water today. And that extra bottle of water made such a big smile come on his face. And I consider that a huge win for me. It just, when I think about it, I think, he goes throughout the day delivering all you guys boxes, and, he's tired and he's smiling and he's not complaining. And so giving him an extra bottle of water made his day. And so when we go that extra mile, whether it's like, for example, if you have a pizza delivered and, you were going to give, like when we're in Mazatlan, whenever we had room service, it's an all-inclusive and you don't have to tip, they say, but we always do, because I always say to my husband, if my kids ever worked, where they could get a tip, I would hope that people would tip them. And so, we were asking, the front desk, what is a normal tip for here, whatever. And so, for example, if you were going to tip, say, $3, and then you had a $5 bill and you're like, okay, I don't know if I should get the 5 or look for 3 ones. And you ended up giving the $5 bill, the extra $2 that you gave, okay, we did this for one of the cleaning ladies that clean a room every day. She came every day, and at the end of the day, she brought a handful of chocolate kisses every night. And I love that in Mazatlan, it's such a simple gesture, but it made my night. And so at the end of the week, we gave her a tip, and she about cried, and she's, and it was just a little bit more than what we were going to give. And so I guess I'm just saying, like, little wins are big wins. Really, they are. You don't have to have miraculous things happening to have an amazing day. And as far as giving a little bit more, like if whatever it is that you were going to give as a tip, or, give of your time, let's just say that you were going to give, I don't know, 30 minutes of service, right? And then you said, you know what, I'm going to give an extra 10 or 15 minutes of serving today, whatever it was, whether it was helping somebody move, doing lunches of love, or whatever it was, right? And that extra 10 minutes or those extra dollars that you do make such a huge difference for that one person, when it wasn't as big of a, like, not as big of a hit for you. Do you know what I'm saying? And so to see giving an extra bottle of water to the UPS man and his big old smile, I consider that a big win, even though they're small, simple things. There's a saying in our church, or there's a song that says, through small and simple things, great things shall come to pass. And I believe that in many ways, not just, giving another extra tip, or giving an extra bottle of water to your UPS man, or spending a little bit of extra time with your kids. Or, like today, I took she's 27, I guess, 27, 26 or 27, I don't know. And, I was taking her, like I say, to the wellness center, to my one of my favorite people in the world who has changed my life. And I went there, and, she told my wellness lady, she goes, I know I'm 27 or however old she is, but I love having my mom with me, because, it just makes me feel like I have support or whatever. And that made me feel so nice, because, there's, that, remember I told you guys about that song called, My List, by Toby Keith. And he talks about in that song how, this wasn't on my list to be doing these things. I had all these things that I had to do, and, pushing my kid in the backyard swing wasn't on the list. That song, you should go listen to it. It's called My List. And it kind of makes me think of that sometimes, we make our goals for the day, and then we are feeling like we're having to run and rush and get through stuff, and then realize that really how important is that? Because in the end, all of these amazing things that we're doing, with business, I have all these amazing things that I want to do, but in reality, spending time, and I'll leave you with this, because I didn't want this video to be so long, but that one commercial where there was a father, and he's working really hard at the table, right? And he basically was working really hard, and his little boy would come up and say, hey, is that guy was filling out his schedule, and the little boy would say, hey, is there any room for me on there? And I thought, and some of you have seen that commercial, and basically it's teaching about, how important it is to realize that we only have so much time, especially with our kids. I have 8 kids, and it's like we only have 2 left at home. And I just can't believe, when I look through like the year, or think about my years with them, and like all of this time. And sometimes I wish that I can turn back the hands of time and think, I wish, like I wish that I would have spent more time doing those little things, as we're talking about here on this particular video, the little wins that we think are not so big. The little wins add up to big things, and they add up to big wins, right? One little win can mean one huge, like several little wins can be one big win, right? And so as I am in 2018, and I'm going to China next week, and then I have my event. But after April, things are really going to slow down, and I'm so excited about that, because we can make ourselves and our schedules so busy, right? We can take our little, where is it? We can take our little calendar, many of you have like a little calendar. And so Jacob, you're so nice. Hi, Gary. And we have this little calendar, and we feel, I don't know about you, but like, it's almost like when we receive a form, we feel like we have to fill in every blank. And just like in our calendar, we feel like we have to fill in every space, and we don't. Look at my calendar for the next week. I try, and I used to say, okay, it's Monday, what do I need to be doing? It's Tuesday, and then fill it out. And now I'm just like, how many days can I leave blank? That is my challenge to myself, to not feel that, I always have to feel like I have to have something on my calendar, because you don't always feel, or you don't always have to think that your calendar has to be full to be a successful person. It's like, to be successful doesn't necessarily mean that everything has to be full in your calendar, right? I think that as I get older, and I'm turning 50 this year, so those of you who have great ideas for a 50th birthday, I'm all ears. I'm really thinking about, I want it to be an amazing trip on a blue beach, of course. And maybe it's Fiji. I don't know. So if you have any ideas, shoot me some ideas on that, because, it's a milestone, right? But as I'm getting older, and I'm just a baby, I'm feeling like I'm getting older, Gary. And so as I am, as the days go, and as my kids grow up, it's like, I want to do spend time doing the little wins, spending the times with my kids, taking them to that. So, thank you, Jacob. And so I only have, like I say, 2 left at home, and the oldest at home is 17, and she'll be leaving. She's a senior next year. So, think about your life. Think about, like I say, when I was younger, like in my 20s, I remember thinking, it's Sunday night, and I'm going to take my calendar, I'm going to start filling it in. And I'm like, all right, my week is full. And like I say, now it's like, what days can I leave blank? And, okay, Tuesdays, I'm going to do my podcast recordings or whatever. And so, it's like, what a great goal would be is, instead of filling your calendar, is to see how many days in your calendar you can leave blank, right? And then spend those blank calendar days doing something like going for a walk, doing service. I've really gotten into the service, like the lunches of love I talked to you guys about. I've really enjoyed that, going and spending time, making lunches for these amazing kids who basically are on the reduced program meals, in school. And then like on the weekends, they don't have lunch. And so people donate food. And then we basically form a line of an assembly line, and we fill these things up. And so anyway, I challenge you guys. I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to try to not fill your calendar up on a weekly basis or a monthly or whatever. I know that's really hard to do because we're busy people, especially moms of 8. Those of you who have big families, and if you think about with 8 kids, and then now the oldest 5 are married, and my daughter-in-laws call me about kid stuff, and so like it's like I have 5 extra kids. And so it's like, all right, and so that's the other thing that we have to talk about, and that is not only trying not to fill out your calendar, but trying to balance it, because it's like we try and, boy, I should have just made this a podcast. I should have just recorded this while I was talking to you guys, which, by the way, if those of you who haven't downloaded my podcast, it's called Joy Reveals. It is on iTunes. It is on your Android phone. It's on an app called Stitcher. We're going to be also spreading out to, Podbean, and there's other podcast things, but for now, iTunes and Android phones, until my life gets where my pages are more blank all the time. And so balance, just trying to find more balance in your life. And it's really, really tough. It's been a lifelong journey for me. I still haven't completely found that, but it's getting better and better. And so good idea, Jacob. I need to do video podcasting. Right now I only do audio, but one day I should do video. That's on the that is on the, what do you call it, on the list, the to-do list. So I guess I'm just saying that, I'm so excited about, this idea of the little wins that we're talking about. And so good idea, Jacob. Great ideas. Thank you for all of those, to work on your little wins every day. I want you guys to review your day, like after you get off this Facebook Live, and take your little journal and write them down and say, what are my wins today? And your wins, like I say, don't necessarily have to be that you made this huge sale and that, you everything business, everything money. And so, I think that, when I say little wins that are big wins, it could be a phone call to a friend. It could be holding your little boy's hand. My little boy is not so little anymore. I wish he were here so I can let you say hi to him, Austin. He's 15. And I was reading an email from him the other day, and it was when he was, 8. And I guess I was out of town, and he emailed me and he says, Mom, I will always be your baby. And I've kept that email because, he's 15 now. And whenever we are sitting in the car, I just hold his hand. He lets me hold his hand. And when he was little, I used to be able to, give him a kiss on the cheek. Now he's 15 and I drop him off. I get whatever I can take. Right. So I encourage you. I do. I encourage you to think about your little wins that are really big wins every single day. Every time you're spending time, that's really way more important. Money's good, but you only have so much time with your children, with your mother, with your spouse, with your family, whatever, and money's always there. There's ample ways to make money. And so I think that, we need to think about that. Think about our little wins that are really huge wins, and to think about ways to not fill our calendar. You know what I should start? I should start some kind of group where people are showing their calendar and saying, a picture like this, their calendar's blank. And that would be awesome, to basically say that, I'm not trying to fill my calendar. I'm just trying to live my life to the fullest, right? And that's the last thing I'll leave you with, and that is, I was watching a video yesterday of somebody that basically was saying how, they had this terminal illness, and instead of waiting for the day that this illness may, investing in time machine, there you go. And so, she was basically saying that instead of waiting for your time, and then just worrying about whenever it's going to happen, to live your day and live your moments every single day. And you know what's really exciting? Every single day, that's great, Georgie. Every single day when you wake up, it's a whole new day. You know, whatever happened yesterday, it's past. And whatever is happening in the future, it's not here yet. It's just like here. It's here and now. So when you wake up in the morning and you're starting to write in your gratitude journal or your 5-minute journal, and you write down, you know, what would make today great. And then when you evaluate your day at the end of the day, if you have a win that basically, like today, I had the best chicken avocado homemade pita with my daughter at this cafe called Eat Well. And, you know, I look back at this day and today was wonderful. Even though my whole desk is not done, all my work and stuff, that's okay. Because, you know, how often does one of my daughters get to come up and I get to spend time with them? So think about that, you know, like spending time and making your calendar. That's a great podcast title, right? Working on a blank calendar. Thanks, Georgie. That's a great title. And so anyway, I hope you guys are doing awesome. It is a Friday evening. Normally I'm out on a date, but my husband's sister is in town. They're over there chatting about business, of course. And so I'm just relaxing and reading about, you know, all these extra things. I'm taking a break from doing work, which you should do sometimes. You should just stop doing those different things. And so anyway, again, I hope you got the podcast name. It's called Joy Reveals. It's on iTunes and on your Stitcher app for Android. And I hope that you guys are all following along with my awesome event that's happening in Houston next month, simplesonseller.com. Especially if you're in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, you should be here. I mean, if you look at the speaker lineup, there are 20 different speakers in every category. I don't know. Everybody's always like, are you going to do this again? And I honestly don't think I will. I'm going to be doing Amazon, putting it on autopilot, but I'm moving over into the personal development retreats, starting in my first one in September. So if you're going to ever come to one of my events for Amazon, it's now, and it is a no-brainer. I feed you. I'm giving you my all. We have amazing swag bags. We have 20 amazing speakers with, if you look at the speaker lineup, one of them is Jason Miles, who is like the top Udemy coach. You know, he's coming to my event, guys, and there's just it's Joy Reveals, Gary, with an R. And so I'll put the link after I'm done too for you guys. So thank you guys for listening. It's a Friday evening. Why are you guys all on here? You guys should be out on dates or whatever, or reading your books. But I do appreciate you taking the time to be here. You can turn on your notifications in the upper right-hand corner to be notified when we come live. And there's also above the comments, I think you can turn on notifications. You can share the video anytime. People ask me, is it okay to share the video? Anytime you want to. It's just spreading goodness, right? In every way that we can. And so thank you, Gary. Thank you everybody for being on here. And thank you for those who share the video and for all of your awesome kind words that you guys always say when I'm on here. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. Hopefully Jacob Topping is on here. He is one of the speakers at my event, and hopefully tomorrow we will be interviewing him. So be looking for that. He has an awesome book that he just finished, and he sells on like 21 platforms for t-shirts and stuff. And he's going to be teaching us that. So awesome, Georgie. All right. Well, it's been so fun talking to you. You guys take care, and I will talk to you guys soon.